From deep in the pyramids come Third Eye Open.
We're back. I'm your host, Jerome the One Tucker, here on Third Eye Open. And I don't do this alone. I've got a sidekick and my co-pilot on the mothership here. Is with me every week. Those of you who are listening, you can join in by dialing 646-595-3705, or you can listen to us on the web 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The archive programs, www.blogtalkradio.com/third, THIRD-IEYE-open. And my co-host is a well-recognized master journaler who just last month we were sharing the whole concept of journaling on purpose with our audience. She provides the services free and her coaching, and we have tremendous results. But she's here. She just parked the mothership. Hey, what's up, Alicia? How you doing? Are you there, Alicia? She must be on mute.
Sorry, user error.
How you doing?
I am well. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. We got an exciting show today.
Yay! I'm excited.
And to share it with everyone, Alicia and I, both got introduced to our two guests, special griots today, and I tell you, it's changed my life. I'll say to the point where now it's really given me an opportunity to help some people that are around me, and share some new technology. Anytime you get new technology, kind of like ahead of the curve, you get excited. I know something, I won't tell. That used to be the way it was. Those old cartoons, but some of you go way back. But now this is something, I know something, I gotta tell. And so with that, one of the let me tell you. Let me ask you, Alicia, when your first introduction to Denise McDowell, what were your thoughts, and what was the situation?
Nothing is wasted in God's economy, and everything that crosses my path, I pay attention to it. So she crossed my path. She's a very powerful woman. I listened, and I'm very excited.
Yes, and she has a way of doing that as far as making you excited. And she's got a tremendous story and why she's in the position she is today. And one thing that I've learned, and in my upcoming book, is your test is in your mess. And so often the things that we go through, we look at them negatively. But the thing is, it's a different kind of lesson. When I went to school, they would give me a lesson, and then afterwards they give me the test. And if you pass the test, then you learn the lesson. But in life, it's a little different. In life, you get your mess first. And then you get your mess, when you get through it, then you look back on it, and then you say, aha. Like Eddie Murphy said in that Coming to America in the barbershop, the little Jewish guy, aha. And she's going to share her aha with us today, and how she got to where she is. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am introducing to some and presenting to others none other than Denise McDowell, the National Capital Area Regional Master Trainer of Al and Hattie Hollingsworth. BOSS, the movement, the Youth Leadership and Entrepreneurial Development Curriculum through this program has inspired many to fulfill their God-given dreams, visions, and purpose in life. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you none other than Denise McDowell. Welcome to Third Eye Open, Denise.
Well, hello, Jerome, Mr. Tucker. How are you this morning? So, this afternoon now. The days are going by fast. How's everything going with you?
Everything is going great now that I have you on the show.
Well, thank you very much. And it's good to be here.
It's so good to have you, because not only is your life story interesting, but also you've turned it into a service through your business and working with 10. Tell us a little bit about your background, your story, kind of leading up to what you're doing today.
Well, this is in regards to my health, Jerome. I love sharing that. It's always good to have a testimony. We read through our scriptures that we overcome the enemy by the blood of the Lamb and through the word of our testimony. So it's always the testimony that people can relate to. People love to hear good things. They love to hear how people have gotten in something and it's turned their life around. You know, you always get a good book. You always want to get to that part of the story where, wow, it happened for them, and, you know, it turned their life around. And this is what has happened with me with Team Effort International. I started off with this awesome company, My Video Talk, which is a sister company of the company I'm with now, technology company. We have some phenomenal technology tools that helps to promote and market and brand what it is that you do. And through that company, grew very close to the founders, Mel and Amy Gill, beautiful, phenomenal people. These are people you would want everyone to meet because they're just so passionate and giving, and they're caring. And so growing this relationship with them, I was introduced to the company that we're with now, which is our sister company, Team Effort Network, which is a natural oil vitamin spray company, and I'm excited about the vitamin sprays because of what they did for me. And I'm going to tell you where I was. You know, you said at the beginning of the show, Jerome, that, you know, the body is made out of the, you know, the dust, you know, the things of the earth, that God has given us this body. He designed this body. We know that the body was made out of the dust of the earth, and we know that all the ingredients, the minerals and everything that the body is made of comes from the earth. We know this. And there's a saying that we teach our young people in the BOSS program, that whatever you come out of, you must remain in and partake of in order to live. And I'm going to say that again. Whatever you come out of, you must remain in and partake of in order to live. And what that basically means is like if you take a fish out of water, what will that fish do? That fish is going to flap. It's going to die because it's fighting to breathe. It's taken out of what it was created of, what it was born into. It was born it was created to live in water. So when you take it out of its environment, it dies. So what's happening here lately with the food industry and with the things that we're putting in our bodies, with the environment that we're surrounded with, the body is pretty much under attack. Now, God designed this body to really take care of itself, and it's strong, I mean, it's beautifully designed. The scripture says we're fearfully and wonderfully made, and the body is designed to do wonderful things. But with what we're giving our body, with what we're feeding, with the foods, the way that it's grown, the things that we're drinking, the sodas and the environment, the computers, the technology, everything that we're surrounded with is really making it very hard for the body to continue to ward off different sicknesses and diseases. Now, my story, Jerome, several years ago, quite some time ago, I had developed a lung condition. And I was a very active person prior to that. I was on the dance ministry in my church. I sang, you know, I did a lot of wonderful things. I had 5 beautiful children. We would run around, go shopping to the beach, to the amusement parks. Just a very active person. I played basketball as well. And this lung condition was just kind of wearing me out. It was kind of wearing me down. And I noticed that I wasn't able to do as much as I was doing. I noticed I wasn't breathing as good as I used to breathe. I noticed my energy was going. I was losing weight. I just wasn't healthy. I just was not healthy, and I still wanted to do so much, but my body was not allowing me to do it. My spirit man was strong, but my body was saying, no, we're going to shut this thing down. And you know, as I continued to try to push back against whatever was attacking me, I ended up in the hospital having an asthma attack. I woke up one night and I had an asthma attack. Very first time I ever had an asthma attack. And so I ended up in the hospital, and of course, Jerome, that ended up, you know, one asthma attack after the other. It was like back-to-back asthma attack, in and out of the hospital, and all kind of medications, steroids, inhaler. I had to come home with a nebulizer. I was taking tussin. You know, I just had all types of medications I was taking just to help me to breathe. Now, Jerome, I'm going to cut it short because I want to open up in case you want to ask me something. And cut me off if you do, because, you know, I'll go on. I'm very passionate about my testimony, Jerome. You know that, right?
Tell your story. I want everyone to hear your story. I want everyone to hear it. Go ahead.
Okay. So if I, you know, just let me know when you want to come in there, because I love to tell my story because of where God has brought me to. But so anyway, in and out of the hospital, I'm having all these exams, these CT scans done and X-rays done, and I'm in and out of the emergency room. I'm taking steroids by the bottle. I'm taking tussin. I'm using the inhaler. I'm on Advair. I'm taking all this medication just to help me to breathe. And the whole time I'm wondering, what is happening to my body? What is going on? I'm not trying to accept the sickness. There's so much more in life I want to do. And I noticed, Jerome, I was starting to pull away from things. I was beginning to pretty much kind of exist, you know, versus living. And that means when you just kind of stay home and you don't do anything, you don't get involved, you kind of put the blanket around your shoulders, you sit down and you just try to get comfortable just to enjoy a day. And I knew that life was a lot more than that, and I was not ready to live like that. Well, in 2012, Jerome, December 2012, I got a call from my pulmonary specialist. Actually, I wanted to see him, my pulmonary specialist, and he gave me two choices. He said, we can do a lung transplant.
Cut it out.
Or we could put you on an oxygen tank. And I thought, lung transplant, my goodness, this thing must be more than what I thought it was, because in my mind, I'm not really accepting it, even though I could tell I'm not healthy, but I just didn't want to accept this sickness. And so he said a lung transplant or an oxygen tank. Now, Jerome, you heard me say this before. When the doctor said oxygen tank, this is what came to my mind. I said, oxygen tank? I said, oxygen tank and high heels just do not go good together. And so I knew I still had my sense of humor when that was the first thought in my mind about an oxygen tank. But I didn't, either way, I didn't want an oxygen tank, and I didn't want to be cut on. I didn't want to have surgery. My husband and I have 5 beautiful, healthy children, and the only times I've ever been in the hospital was to deliver those 5 babies, and I delivered them all naturally, nursed them and everything. And so it just so happened, I got this report in December 2012. In January, I received a call from Mel and Amy Gill, the CEO and founders of Team Effort Network. And they wanted to invite myself and my business partner, Pastor Del Wafer, to what was called a secret meeting. And I thought, wow, I've never been invited to a secret meeting. And I'm thinking, Mel and Amy Gill, they've been in the industry for 24 years. They have like 26 millionaires in third world countries and just as many in the U.S. market. And they're inviting me and Pastor Del to a secret meeting. Wow, what is this all about? So I get there, they fly us in California, San Ramon. We get to the meeting, we walk in, there's all these doctors and there's all these scientists and there's investors and there's Mel and Amy Gill and other folks that they invited to this secret meeting. And we come in there, Jerome, and they're talking about vitamin sprays. And I thought, wow, vitamin sprays. I said, even the sound of that was so inviting, vitamin sprays. Now, I had been taking vitamins for quite a while because, you hear that, vitamins are good for you and they're supposed to do this and the other. Now, I have to tell you, when I was taking vitamins in a pill form, I was taking them, Jerome, but I really didn't know and I couldn't really tell what they were doing for me. I didn't really feel any different taking the pills. Honestly, I didn't. But I would take them because in my mind they say that they're supposed to be good for you. So I get there, and they're talking about vitamin sprays. And I thought, boy, that sounds good. And there was this one doctor there, and he started talking about the vitamin D. He said that the vitamin D spray helped him with his asthma. And I thought, whoa.
So let me say this. And I really want to keep our audience on track on what we're talking about here. I heard you say you were a basketball player. And one of the things one of the things I know, because I used to play basketball when I was young, is a lot of running. You don't really realize it during the game, but you do a lot of running, so your lungs are built up, strong. So, and you were at a point where you were healthy, but the issue, I want to keep in touch with the fact of certain things that doctors do and they share with you, and you were healthy at that point, and now we're going to find out what the solution was to your problem. It wasn't that. Because so often we get these titles. You had asthma, right? That's what they're telling. Okay. Yeah. I just want to make that point right now. There's a little stick pin right in there. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I did. They told me that when I went to the hospital after waking up one night not able to breathe, they said it was an asthma attack. And actually there were several other asthma attacks after that. I've had them pretty regularly after the first attack. And so I get to the secret meeting. This doctor, he's talking about vitamin D, and that he used to have asthma. And when he said that, it was like I knew God had set me up. I knew God had sent me there just for that very purpose, to learn about these vitamin sprays, in particular the vitamin D. And that particular day, I learned so much about vitamin D. I never even really knew that much about vitamin D until that day. I honestly I may have heard it mentioned a couple of times, but it never really meant anything to me because I didn't know anything about it. And as I listened to his story, I knew that I needed that vitamin D. I heard everything else that was said. It was wonderful, the opportunity, the position I was being offered with this company, everything. It was awesome. But I knew that without my health, everything else that was being offered would have been of none avail. And so I had my vitamin D level checked that day because they said you should know what your level is. And anything that's below 30, you need supplement. 50 and above is normal. So I had my vitamin D level checked that very day, and my level was, I didn't get the results that day, but I did send for it to be done that day, the blood work for it to be done. And my level was a 17. So I was very deficient.
17?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
And 30 is the norm. 30 is where you're supposed to be, and you're at 17.
No. 50 and above is where you need to be. 50
okay.
or above. 30 is you need supplement. If you're 30, that's low. You need supplement.
Okay.
Mhm. Okay. So I get the vitamin D, and I'm taking it right away. I start taking it right away because I don't want a lung transplant, and I definitely don't want to go in an oxygen tank. And I'm believing this is why God sent me here. So I'm taking this vitamin spray, and I'm just spraying and spraying and spraying. And Jerome, I'm telling you, I started taking a vitamin D spray on Saturday. Now, I want you to know, I didn't mention this. Up until that day, up until that week, actually, for the last 3.5 years, I had a cough. I would cough every day, all day. Every day, all day, I was coughing because I needed to cough to get enough air to say my next sentence. So that's how I lived for like 3.5 years, just constantly coughing. So I take this vitamin spray on a Saturday. Jerome, by that Wednesday, I was just about doing my little business, and I realized that I was no longer coughing. It's almost as like I'd forgotten that I was coughing. It's like I went to clear my throat, and I said, wow, I haven't coughed. And I thought about it. I said, I haven't coughed all week. And I thought, my goodness. And I got very excited because I knew it was a spray because I wasn't taking anything else. And I wanted to just kind of call and tell everyone, look, guys, I'm doing better. I'm not coughing. But I held off because I said, boys, no, it's nothing like sharing your testimony. Then you get all jacked up in the hospital the next day, right? So I kind of held off until the very next day. My business partner, Pastor Delway, we were doing a meeting together. And at the end of our meeting, he realized that I was not coughing. And he said, Pastor Denise, he said, do you realize that you're not coughing? I said, yes, I haven't coughed all week. And it was the only thing that I was doing different, Jerome, was taking that vitamin D spray. And I'm telling you, since the day I've taken it, only thing I did different was that. And since the day that I started taking those sprays, I've not been on steroids. I have not been on the inhaler. I have not needed the nebulizer. I no longer drink Tussin. I'm not on the Advair. The medications I was taking, the doctor said I would have to take it the rest of my life, like the Advair. He said I'd have to take it the rest of my life. The steroids, he said I would have to take a low dosage of it the rest of my life. I'm not on any medication at all. All glory be to God.
That's so important. And I really want our listeners to understand what we're talking about here. And as I mentioned earlier, there are only 3 things they can do. They're going to give you something to hide the symptom, which would have been the oxygen that they were talking about you walking around with, the hiding symptom. Or they're going to cut it out. And what they're going to do is give you a transplant. Okay, so, but really, and they gave you a title. They gave you something, a quote-unquote disease, and it was asthma. And so now, once you've been labeled with that, you have asthma. You're going to have asthma for the rest of your life. Well, really, it's evident to me. I mean, if we just back up off of it, you had a vitamin D deficiency. It wasn't asthma. It's vitamin D deficiency. So the only thing you did was add vitamin D to your supplemented what you were doing, and it has gone away. So we have to be careful in what we do. For instance, like if you get a headache, right, you don't have an aspirin deficiency, do you? No, when you give you aspirin. So I just ask people to stop and think for a minute. Use the brain we've been given. And now, since that's happened, you have no more vitamin deficiency symptoms, shall I say? Is that correct? Would you say that's true?
Jerome, I love the way that you articulated that. I don't think it could have been said any better. And that's exactly what it is. It's not that I had asthma. It's that I didn't have enough vitamin D in my body to fight off the things that come against the body that would result in asthma.
So we have to reframe how we look at our health. and really look at the cause of health. The doctors don't look at that. And you went right to the cause. The vitamin D went to the cause of the problem, not to try to cover it up, not make it so you can get by and take this so you don't feel it. We eliminated it. And you say you're not coughing, you don't have those breathing, non-breathing attacks anymore, and that's what we're talking about, quality of life. By just having something that God created for us to have anyway.
Right.
That's why I want people to hear your story. I wanted you to tell that story. That's why. Thank you so much. And you mentioned over and over your partner in time. And how can you say Denise McDowell without saying Dale Wafer? It's hard. It sounds like they're tied together at the hip. And you guys share the same birthday, I understand?
That's true.
Well, you guys are gonna have to share the same mic, because I want to bring on also a gentleman who's chairman and CEO of Expedited LLC, and that's a transportation company serving the greater Metro Washington, D.C. area. And as a CEO, he's responsible for leading new capital development projects and strategic new market expansion. And the thing you can always tell the savvy business people is that they always are looking for business opportunity. They understand the whole concept of business, and it doesn't really matter if it's a business, a model, and it follows their model of success, because then they're going to look at it and they're going to get involved in it. And that's what's kind of drawn, I believe, what's kind of drawn them together along the path of the things they're doing, working with youth. And that's the thing about it. Once you start doing something you love that's in your lane, you're going to find other people like yourself. And Denise, you found a partner in this gentleman that we're introducing now, Mr. Dale Wafer. Welcome to Third Eye Open, Mr. Wafer.
How you doing, the one?
You are the one.
Going? Yes. I'm glad to be on the call with you. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, we were just talking about the experience that Denise had with her illness, with her vitamin D deficiency, and the importance of her knowledge and being involved with a company such as TEN, which stands for Team Effort Network, and the information that has helped her to change her life. You know, what was it about Team Effort Network, TEN? You being an entrepreneur, a successful entrepreneur, may I add, what was it that drew your attention to TEN?
Well, the thing that got me was, when Pastor Denise invited me to come and take a look at the company, I was very busy. I run two companies. I have a company, Expedited, of course, as you mentioned. I also have a company called Global Meridian Group, which is a asset recovery company. And I have 7 children, my wife and I. We have 15 grandkids. I'm a full-time pastor. So I have a lot of things going on my plate.
Jamaican? Are you Jamaican? Are you Jamaican?
No, I may have to stay there though.
Okay.
But I have a lot of things on my plate, and so I wasn't looking for anything else to do for sure. And when she started talking to me about, come and take a look at this, and she mentioned the word opportunity, I said, this is network marketing. You want me to come in a network marketing company? She said, well, it is network marketing, but, you need to come take a look at it. So I said, well, what is it? How does it work? And she's like, well, I don't know a whole lot about it, but, And I was like, nah, I'm not interested. I'm too busy. And so she kept coming. I said no 5 times. No. And so the last time she came to me, and she said, hey, listen, are you going to come and take a look at this or not? I said, I had already told you I wasn't going to do that. And she said, well, are you my friend? I said, well, of course. We've been friends a long time. She said, well, as my friend, I want you to come take a look at it. And I said, all right. I mean, what do you do with that? When somebody says they pull the friend card, you're done. So I went to her home and had to took a look at this company, and I was blown away. I was really, really amazed by what they had achieved and what they had done, and around the world. They were in 40 countries around the world, and they were coming to the U.S. And I said, wow, they haven't even lost the U.S. And so we joined the company. Got a chance to meet the owners, Mel and Amy Gill, in Las Vegas. spent some time talking with them and hearing their story, hearing their why, that they wanted to change as many lives as people as they possibly can, and they wanted to make network marketing safe to come back into. And so they formed their company with that product in mind and the compensation in mind to use that. Now, we have a number of products. In our sister division, we have 6, technology products. In our current company that we're talking about today, 10, Team Effort Network, we have 5 products. But guess what? Those 5 products we have in 10, those 6 products we have in Video Talk, those are not our products. Our primary products, our product, is changing people's lives. And that's how they built this company. They built this company around the philosophy. We want to change people's lives. We use these products to do that, but we want the number one product to be changing people's lives. And that really just spoke to me. That spoke to me who they were and the type of company that they were running. And I joined the company with Pastor Denise. We mounted up together as a team, decided we're going to run this thing together. And as a result of that, we built the fastest growing team and the largest team in the United States in 18 months. And that was amazing what has taken place in that situation. We had a lot of people on the team doing a lot of work. It wasn't just us doing it, but we had a lot of people on the team doing the work. And so when we were invited to the private meeting that she was talking about, we saw this as an opportunity to do it again with a brand new division just starting. And we having the opportunity to be at the top of this company in the new division of an 11-year-old successful company in 72 countries around the world, and we can be at the top of this new division during launch. It was, to me, best opportunity of a lifetime. And, a lot of people talk about owning their own businesses, and I'm an advocate of it. I don't think you can really build substantial amounts of wealth until you own your own business. But one thing about owning your own business I found out real quickly is that I say I own my own business, but really my business owned me. It owned my time. It owned everything I had. And my wife and I, Diane, we wanted our time back. And we saw 10 and Team Effort International as an opportunity to get our time back, which is most valuable. And as a result of that, we've been very successful in our new we brought a lot of people in the business. We have a huge team that's growing across the country and around the world. And we just started, guys. We just launched our company 3 weeks ago in Las Vegas, which that's the baby. And so this is the opportunity of a lifetime for anybody who wants to finally get a chance to be at the head of a company and not come on when there's already 500,000 people in the company. That was the opportunity I saw, and that's what we have done with this opportunity, is to really make it stand out and make it purposeful in the lives of people who join the company.
And you are running with it. You are running with it. Alicia, do you have a question or comment?
I guess my comment is, hello, Pastor Dale and Pastor Denise. So great to hear you. I'm so excited to be a part of the teamwork. That's the part that kind of drew me in, is that we're not doing this alone, and that we're all working together, and just seeing the passion and the energy and the excitement from the two of you. The first presentation that my husband and I attended, we had the conversation before. We're not joining anything. We're not signing up for nothing. We're just going. So we got there, and we were standing strong until we saw everything. And it's almost like a no-brainer situation. And it was very interesting to me to see the products. And the thing is that we wanted to try them first. And so we actually tried them for probably about 2 or 3 weeks before we told our first person about it. And it was funny to me because the comment that she made to me on our drive home was, "What took you so long to tell me?" I thought, well, we wanted to try them first.
I like that.
Yeah, and when you talk about a business, Pastor Dale, the thing about it is, you're owning a couple of businesses. This time that we're living in now, so many businesses are downsizing, and that means that jobs are being eliminated. And so people that are constantly looking for jobs, I think that's something of the 20th century. Now, and you have to have value. You have to bring value to the table. And I'm sure, particularly in your business, I'm sure there have been some business, because you're in the transportation business, you're dealing with different companies. Have you seen some of those standard brick-and-mortar businesses are going out of business and not really, or downsizing and not really ramping back up?
Well, yeah, that is a major issue, especially after the collapse of our economy in 2008. I mean, even we took a hit. In our company, we lost, a lot of money in revenue. We had 22 employees. We went down to 4. We took a major hit, as well, because our product was it wasn't a product somebody needed. It was just a luxury product that we were using, and so we even took a hit, And so I go back to what Bill Gates said. He says that the brick and mortar building has now become the click and order business. Okay, so you can go from the brick and mortar business model, or you can come into the new age of the click and order business. And that's where we are now. We're in the click and order business. A great statistic that the Department of Labor did a couple of years ago, actually about a year ago, it was talking about how the economy that we're in now, where now that we're coming back, or we're slowly rebounding from the collapse of our economy, there's a lot of jobs. There's at least 4 to 5 million jobs that will never be filled. Those occupations are gone. And what's happening is people who've been working for 20 years, 25 years, they got laid off. They were like, wow, I got laid off. I've been so loyal and so faithful to these companies. And what's happening now is that the 1099 employee is now trending. That is what's being replaced by these positions that were 4 million jobs that was lost. Those jobs are not coming back. Those jobs are coming back in the form of the 1099 employee, the self-employed person. Okay,
that's right.
And so people are now saying, you know what? I'm going to put my future in my own hands. I'm not going to trust my company, because my company is going to do what's best for the company. That's not going to do what's best for me. And so, as a person who wants to control my freedom and control my destiny, I'm going to have to put my trust in my abilities to negotiate new deals. So they're coming back to the market as a 1099 employee, which is a contractor. And that's what's happening now throughout the world, is that's happening. I was just talking to a young lady in Europe. Same thing in Europe. Jobs are not coming back, but the 1099 employee, as the contractor, is coming back. The vendor is coming back. And so, if you really want to take a look at a home-based business, what you can do from home, there's no opportunity like what we have in 10. Because it gives you everything that you need. It gives you the support. Alicia mentioned that. We hear that story all the time. People come to me, and their husbands and their wives have made an agreement. We're not signing up. We're just listening. Okay.
Right.
And I tell you, we hear that every meeting. You know what? Somebody breaks the agreement. Somebody said, no, this is different. This is different.
That's right.
We were at Mike McLean's house a couple of weeks ago during the meeting, and there was a lawyer, and her husband was an entrepreneur, came to the business, and they both sat on the front row, and they had the same vow. We're not buying nothing. We're not getting in no business. We're not enrolling. And when I got through the presentation, she jumped up to the back of the room and got the application and started filling it out. He said, what are you doing? I thought we said. She said, this is different. It ain't the same thing. So we're finding that it's our opportunity that we have here with 10. We have the best compensation plan, easiest compensation plan to qualify for, big money. And we got products that work. Pastor Denise told you her story. My mom is 86 years old. For the last few years, she's had to have blood transfusions because they don't know why. Her blood was just going lower and lower, and every year she'd have to get a transfusion. Well, last year, she went back to the doctor, and they said, my blood is dropping again. They said in 3 days, if it drops anymore, they have to give me a blood transfusion. I said, Mom, let me send you something. So I sent her the D3 and the B12, and I said, I really want you to focus on taking the B12. So she was taking the B12 for like 60 days. She went back to her doctor. They checked her blood level. Now, she's already in her mind thinking, I'm going to have another blood transfusion. And the doctor came back and he said, Miss Wakeford, what have you been doing? And she said, what do you mean? He said, your blood, the work we just got back from your workup. He said, your blood is like the blood of a 30-year-old woman. She just smiled from ear to ear, and she knew there was nothing she was doing besides that B12. You know, and that's what happens. The B12 builds your red blood cells, and it raises your blood levels. So you have the opportunity to experience wonderful health. So we're seeing people all over the globe that's benefiting from our product. And so you got a product that you can be confident in. You got a company that you can be confident in with this compensation plan that's paid out every Wednesday for the last 11 years. We've not missed a payday. So we're really excited about the company we're with and what we're doing, and we're happy to be here with you guys as team members.
That's great. And the point that you're making, and I want Pastor Denise to kind of chime in afterwards, is that we're talking about business. And so many people are afraid of getting involved in a business. But what's happened is, you mentioned it, all these people who've been on these jobs for 20 years, 30 years, and they have all this experience. And the way things have been going, you had to pay for that experience. Because the companies, the organization had to pay premium rates for that experience. So, and then I have to pay your benefits, your unemployment, and all of that stuff, and taxes, and so there's an added expense to me. But what you said was, as people are becoming 1099, they're still bringing that same experience back to the table, but they're bringing it as an independent contract. And because of that, now I don't have to pay for unemployment. These things I don't have to pay for as a business owner. And so what does that do? Now with and we have to take the whole picture into consideration. With the minimum wage being raised, so what happens? I have to pay these employees more plus these benefits. Businesses are going to do what they need to do to survive. My business is to survive and provide an income support for my family, and I'm going to make sure that that's my primary goal. So if I have to lay someone off because there's an added expense, I'm going to do that. And just like if you have a bill at home and it's for, you've got the NFL package and it's too much for you, well, it's going to have to go. So we're going to make those cuts. And so don't be afraid to step out and have your own business. It may be new to you. That's okay. That's a growth. But that's where we're going now. That's where the world is going. And I like what you said. We're moving from brick and mortar to click and order. So these talents and these skills that we have, they'll translate. They will translate. And now we can deal directly versus going through a contract and working for them and they having a contract and being employed by this company. So don't be afraid to go into this new millennium, this new paradigm shift, and still keep your gifts and talents that you have. And this is a prime situation for you because in this business, just by becoming a member of 10 or any other multi-level marketing business, but particularly this one where we're at the cutting edge, which is the new technology, and when you're in business for yourself, now you have tax deductions, even if it's part-time. Now you have tax deductions on things you didn't have yesterday. And that means we work for the money, but we work to keep more of the money that we make. So you don't necessarily have to have a raise. You can just keep more of the money you make and decrease your tax obligations. So these are all the things that we're teaching people in 10 about business, about your health, about how to be of the mind of helping people. So, Pastor Denise, I know the things that you've been talking about, you're sharing this information for a purpose. You're working with young people for a purpose. And why this business? I mean, I understand about, the vitamin D and everything like that, but why multi-level marketing business versus another? Like, it's not just because of brick and mortars are becoming diminished, but why multi-level marketing, Pastor Denise?
Jerome, I love what Alicia said earlier when she said her friend asked her on the way home, why did you take so long to tell me? And it's kind of like how I felt when I got into MLM. Why did I take so long to do something about it? Because I've heard about it, but I was going on what other people say about MLM. That's not good. It's a pyramid. They're just going to take your money. So you hear these things, and you, for whatever reason, you think it's truth, but it's really not truth. But, I think about the hierarchy of success, and I didn't even think about that until I came into network marketing. In the hierarchy of success, the number one at the top of that ladder is peace of mind. And when you work on a 9 to 5, when you work on a job where you're punching someone's clock and you can take off when they tell you you can take off, and you can maybe be able to catch one of your child's recitals at school, you might be able to go on a vacation maybe. When you work in a job like that, you're not going to get peace of mind doing something like that. You're only going to have as much peace as they will allow you to have. So at the top of that ladder is peace of mind. And next is health and energy. A lot of times we are working ourselves sick because we're trying to really make someone else's dream reality versus your own. So you got peace of mind, you have health and energy. Next on that ladder is loving relationships. You want to surround yourself with loving relationships. And how many times you get them to go to work and say, I don't like those folks I work with. They just get on my last nerve. You know?
Every day. Every day.
So, and then, and what's fourth on that ladder is financial freedom. See, a lot of times we think financial freedom is at the top of the hierarchy of success, but it's not. Because you can have all the money in the world you want, but if you don't have peace of mind, then that money's not going to buy you peace. It's not going to do anything for you. If you don't have loving relationships, you can't enjoy being wealthy and not have anyone to enjoy it with, right? And if your health is knocking you out, then you can have all the money where you want. If you can't get healthy again, you can't enjoy it. And then you have your self-development and you have worthy goals. So when I came into network marketing, I really began to realize that this was the actual plan that we were supposed to pursue. That's the pursuit of happiness, because you begin to discover who you are. You begin to discover what your gifts and what your talents are, what you're capable of doing. It gets you out of that comfort zone that so many of us are just locked into, and we think that that's where God wants us, in a comfort zone, but you can't discover your purpose sitting in a comfort zone or punching a clock for someone else. You can't. But in network marketing, it allows you to explore that. It allows you to help other people. There's 3 categories of people, Jerome, that we teach our younger folks, our young ladies. We teach them there's 3 categories of people. There's the 87% followers, there's 10% destroyers or management, and then there's the 3% leaders. There's only 3% of the population that are leaders. Well, we as the 3% leaders, we want to encourage that 80% followers that they can become great leaders, get them out of their comfort zone, and let them walk this course of greatness so that they can fulfill what their purpose is in life. And that's what network marketing does. It really lets you know who you are, what your purpose is, why you're here. You can wake up when you finish sleeping. You can take off when you want to take off. You can make as much money as you want to make. 9 to 5 doesn't offer you that.
Wow. Well, I'm going to take a break right here, but when we come back,